All right, we live in the building. What's up, y'all? What's popping? We back in the building. We ready to get this shit popping again. You know.
Hey girl,
Hey,
how you
everybody.
doing?
Hey, Blasian. Hello. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Oh, there go my daughter. As soon as I start trying to start my live stream, there go my daughter trying to fuck with me. But it's okay. You know, it's okay. My badass daughter.
Okay, welcome to the stream, baby.
Speaking
They
of
got
speaking
something to
of
say to you.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of biracial people's interaction with people in real life, that's the topic. My badass daughter, she's so goddamn mean. She's mean. She's like, oh hey, how you doing? Let me give some shout outs. Hello, good to see you. Good to see my badass daughter. She's so goddamn mean. She look just like me too. She's an MGM. She's an MGM. She's mean as
Oh
hell.
wow, she's an MGM. Yes, little teeny MGM. Yes, they are.
Stop. She's mean as hell. Mean little girl. I don't know where she get it from. She's trying to run away from her. But yeah, so let me tell you what I've been up to. So I kind of stepped away from these spaces because I wanted to focus on real life. Because I'm like, okay, sitting around talking about the same thing over and over ain't gonna really get us nowhere. Like, we gotta have some money, we gotta have some power, like that's built up in real life, and then we can pour into, what we trying to do into building something like substantial, right? So I got me a good little job now, right? And okay, it's me.
Congratulations.
Yes, right. So my good little job, but I noticed I just started working there, but it's me, it's four mixed biracial people that work there, right? Like, there's like no like fully black people there. It's just all white people, and then there's four of us, right? So I'm cool with one of them. Like, one of them, he's cool, we talking whatever. But I'm like, I noticed we don't like group up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of stay to our own little, like, we don't really like see each other, like, oh, that's my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was kind of like wanted to talk about
Right.
our interactions with each other in real life. Well, we don't be like, oh, that's my folk, that's my people, like that's my kinfolk, that's oh, what's up, fam? Like, we're not like that with each other. We're kind of like, hello. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's not, I really want to talk about like our interactions with each other in real life, and that goes into dating too. We've covered the whole dating topic extensively. Like, we've talked about that a lot. How there's a lot of propaganda against us and all that. We've already talked about all that, but guess what? I got me a new little boo. Okay, so I got me a little new, but he's a biracial with like a white mom and a black dad, so it's like a little different for me, right? But even like
Right.
in his interactions, like, I haven't told him like I have like a mixed space. Like, I haven't told him about this because it's kind of like, I think he kind of more so identifies as black. He's kind of older. Well, he's not kind of older, he's like an 80s baby. You know how the 80s baby are kind of like, they're not really on, I don't know, I don't know if they're really, but we talked about it a little bit. Like, he kind of talked about his experiences a lot, like how the same theme that we noticed, like, you white in black spaces, but you black, it's like the same common theme that I share with him. Oh, it's
Right.
AMR. Hey, cool, we got AMR in the building. Let me bring him up.
Hey, AMR, how you doing?
What up,
Oh, I'm
folks?
doing good. How about yourselves?
What up? See,
We're
see
doing
how we
good.
are with each other, like, online. It's like, oh, what's up, my phone? But it's like, why aren't we're not like that in, like, I don't know,
In real
in
life.
real life? It's like,
Yeah.
damn, I want to be like that in real life. Like, oh, that's my folk, that's my kin. Like, hey, man, that's my fam, that's my bro, that's my blood. But it's like, we just are so standoffish with each other. Like, I don't know if that's me or my experiences, but I want to hear about other people's experiences.
I feel like the majority of my friends are different. Maybe MGMs are the majority of my friends, or Latino. And I noticed that I have like a few biracial friends, but those biracial friends, they are similar to what you're describing. Like, all of their friends are like MGM or Latino too. They don't really have a lot of biracial friends either. Um, so I know what you're talking about. And there's always like one biracial person, right? But they're never like in a group of biracials. Like, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's like we don't really see each other as like, oh, that's my peoples. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not really programmed to think like that at all. And we've talked about that. Like we talked about how we're not like all of us are so culturally. There's culturally white, biracial. There's culturally black, biracial. There's culturally mixed. But like we don't have like a culture like like Puerto Ricans. Like they got their own culture. They're all mixed, but they got their own culture that they share. Like we don't have that. We don't have like our
Right.
own like culture that it's like, oh, this is ours. Like we don't have nothing for ourselves. And anytime we try to like build anything for ourselves, it's like, no, everybody, it got to be inclusive of everybody. Like we can never have nothing that's like exclusively like for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, we're not. I don't want to say that we're not allowed to, but like we were talking about in Discord, it's like, okay, if there's a group of 5 of us, like, because we're such a small minority, and we say, oh, this is how we want it to be, like for us, right? Different environments for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. So if there's 5 of us, right, and there's a group of 100, like whatever that group of 100, if they're all in unison saying, no, this is how it's gonna be, and that group, it's always gonna overwrite that smaller group. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we try to say, oh, we want to be exclusive, or we want to say that, even like the mulatto term. If we were like, if there's 5 people, 5 of us that are like, oh, we want to be mulattoes, but the 100 group is like, no, 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 that's offensive, that's terrible, no, don't do that. Or like that's always gonna overwrite the minority. So it's like we're such a small minority group that it's like anytime we try to claim anything, or we try to say, hey, this is ours, or this is us, or this is how we want to identify, or this is how we feel, or it's like the larger majority group always overrides what the fuck we got going on. So we can't really build our own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like we can't really build nothing for
Right.
ourselves. So it's like we can't really build like a culture, or like the community is brought together by culture. Like that's the core of the fucking community. And it's like if we can't build our own culture, we're not gonna be able to have our own communities. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just like we were talking about like Creole. Like you know how they want to say Creole means anything and everything. Like you know what I'm saying? But it started off meaning you're mixed, and then they built the
Right.
culture around that.
Right.
But now that means anything and everything. Like anybody could be Creole. So it's like it always. Anytime we try to like have anything for ourselves, it always gets mixed up with anybody and everything, and it's like then it becomes like a regional thing, and then it's like anybody. So it's like I don't know. It's like people, like I said, that's what I'm done with. Okay, I'm done with like the one sided beef of like people trying to be on some one sided beef stuff. You know.
Right. Right. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. But I think that it depends on the characters that's around. Some people just have very conflict oriented type of personalities, whereas other people are more mellow. Some people bring out the worst in everybody. And once those people are really eliminated from spaces, you notice how everything is so harmonious, everything is doing so good, people get along so well, because basically you have eliminated like the negative element from the group. So yeah, I think a lot of these different things, it could have been resolved long ago, but definitely there was a lot of conflict oriented type of people who were preventing like real discussion and camaraderie from happening. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, there's a lot of
Definitely.
hindrance, a lot of that's a hindrance of people trying to hinder and prevent and sabotage, and it's like self sabotage because you say you want something, but then you go about your way to destroy it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of that. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Right,
if
right,
motherfuckers
right.
really know what they want. Like you said, it's like hard for us to all get on the same. You could get on the same page with like 2 or 3 people, right? That's hard to do, but like trying to get on the same page with like a large majority of people, like it's never like you know what I'm saying. Everybody has all these different views and experiences and different
A large, large majority.
opinions, and you know what I'm saying. They want to feel like they're the right, and they want to be the big boss and feel like they want to direct how things are going, and it's like so much ego and so much like it's a lot. It's like dang, but if you could find like 1, 2 people that you could really vibe with really good and y'all get along and like that's enough. You know what I'm saying? I think that's enough for me. So you know.
Right. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I think the quality of relationships is more important than the quantity. You know what I mean? The quality is more important. But yeah, I think in real life, one of the things I noticed too is that maybe people feel like they don't want to seem colorist so they don't link up with other biracials. Like they want to make.
Right. It's like a bad thing. It's like, oh no, it's like the like you said, the Blue Vein Society and how that was so demonized. Like nobody wants to restart that again and make it seem like, oh, it's gonna be that gets thrown in our face, like the brown paper bag test. Oh, y'all gonna start the brown paper, like as soon as that gets thrown around, people are like, no, 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 no. It's super like, no, we never do that. Like it's like, and then they kind of want to distance themselves from other like mixed people because it's like, oh well, we're not gonna do that again like they did back in the day. That's always getting like thrown in our face a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, it's like an insecurity that you're but it's like, that's like I think that it's that stereotype that it's like, oh, they think they're so much better. So they try to, like, a lot of people try to distance themselves from other mixed people because it's like, oh, if they try to group up, they're going to be thinking their shit don't stink and they're going to be thinking they better than everybody. And, a lot of people just don't want to have that image. Right. So it's like, it works against us. Right. Because we kind of try to, make people happy. We don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So what y'all think? Hey, Amar, I would like to hear what you think too.
Oh wow, like man, y'all, I think y'all had already covered it. Nah, I'm just playing, but nah, though. Well, I gotta say, again, because I get along with everybody and their time, and depending on how that interaction is, it's like okay, cool. But then I also learned that there are people on here that you do gotta take whatever interaction that you may have with them and sort of just keep them at arm's length. And even when I came to this
Mm-hmm.
space, and even when you come to this space, like it's like people when they come on the internet, which is one of the biggest flaws on having social media, that it gives power to anybody, that and it gives power to anybody, and anybody can be exactly what they want to be and not necessarily fact check these individuals. And then you realize all the mental issues that people have, and it's pretty much being displayed all over the internet and all over the surface.
Right. But
And you really start thinking
do you think that translates into real life? Is what I'm saying? Like
it,
how we interact with each other on social media. Do you think that like when you see people in real, like it's gonna be different in real life, obviously, but it's like,
oh yeah,
you
absolutely. But I
know,
would say that, if I could say yes and no, get that kind of being like a two-part question. And why I say yes and no, the yes part comes in because think about it, all these influencers and all these people that, that have a big following.
Uh-huh.
Like you got people out here with a big following claiming to be a part of this particular group or this particular community, and they think that they're speaking for everyone, not realizing it's like, okay, you are going to have to realize that if you really start taking things at face value and not as an entertainment value, that's where you set yourself up. But no, but and also
Start
why I
taking
say
things at
no.
face value and not as an entertainment value. That's where you set. Sorry about that. This Obama phone I'm working with, but go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Oh wow. Yeah, I thought we was done with the Obama phones, but but the no, but the no part comes in is that because, and that's the thing. Like we don't. Again, when you come online, you're only as close as you're only as close as you can possibly be, with other people, regardless if again, people that like us on the panel or even people in the chat room.
yeah, it's like the proximity thing because we're all over the country,
Right.
like we're all over in different states, so it's like you're gonna interact differently from somebody across the country versus somebody in your face, right? But I want to address what Lil Brown. Hey, Lil Brown. Hey, beautiful. So she said, I hear that a lot though. Like I usually don't get along with other biracial people. Like I hear that a lot. Like usually biracial people do not get along with each other. I was talking with my boyfriend about that. I'm like, light skinned niggas, they don't usually get along with each other. Like the men, like they don't like each other for some reason. And then with the women, I don't know. It seemed like we don't like each other. And then with the men it's like we don't really fuck with each other or like each other. It's like a weird dynamic there that I kind of try to fight against, because I'm like, oh, I try to look at them like, oh, this is my fault. You know, we curly hair twins. We can vote. We like, I try to fight against that programming and kind of go against it, because I've been in these spaces and I've been trying to undo that and learn that behavior, because I do want us to elevate, you know, and be
Oh
recognized and
my
all that,
God, the Al show. Hey, Al.
Oh, hey Al,
Long
I'm
time
glad
no
Hello.
you're here. How
see.
you doing? You
Welcome.
Hello.
probably
How is
popping up
every?
at the woodworks. Family
Yeah,
reunion.
well, yeah. Yes.
Hey, how you
Well,
doing,
yeah.
Al? Show long
Well,
time, no time, long time no
yeah.
here.
It's been a while. Technically, I'm one of those people that is part of the quit YouTube. I guess I'm technically part of that phenomena. I did it last year though. So that's why I don't really do panels and you know channels and stuff
Oh,
like
you got
that.
a special guest tonight? Okay, you popping up,
Yeah, so
making a
I
special
did.
appearance? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I was on a panel. I've only done a couple this year, so yeah, I've been elsewhere. Uh because I shut my channel down actually
Yeah.
last year.
But
And
Yeah.
you gonna have a totally different perspective on it, because you out in Hawaii. So Hawaii got like there's so
oh
many
right.
people out there. So there's gonna be. But how are you, like, when you interact with other mixed people like in Hawaii, since there's like a large population out
Oh
there?
right, because you're dealing with IRL. I'm trying to remember what IRL is.
Yeah,
Is
in real
that
life, yeah.
okay?
I try to
In
mix it
real
down
life.
in wording. Yeah, so I try to shorten it.
In terms of and dealing with other biracial, multiracial people.
Yeah, people who are black, white, biracial like you. Like, what's their
Oh, see, that's the thing. I never dealt with. I don't know if I should lose that. I'll just use black, white, biracial. I never really dealt with too many people like that when I was growing up. No,
Really?
never really did
I
that.
thought there was a
Yeah,
lot of
because
them out there. Because you would be like, oh, there's
that
so
is,
many mixed people out here, but you were
there are a
talking about
lot of
like,
mixed race people. There are a number of mixed race people in Hawaii, but not of that variety because there are
wow, so that's
lots of
different. So you never
yeah,
dealt with people who are like kind of like the same as you. So it's like,
yeah.
that's interesting.
Yes. Actually, I never really dealt with that until I came on mixed race groups on Facebook. That was when I first really dealt with, really dealt with it. Deal with people who were black, white, biracial, and black other biracial, Blasian,
Uh-huh.
and whatever. So that was, it was really on Facebook and maybe a little on Twitter and all of that. So that was it, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was interesting because when I got on the biracial groups, it was an education for me because I was dealing with biracial people in a collective way. Whereas in where I was from, maybe you deal with somebody here and there. There are a good number of them, but I never really thought of them in that term. I never thought of biracial people or multiracial people. That wasn't a big deal to me. Um, it really wasn't until I went on. It's now this like 14 years because it was 2010. It wasn't until I went on Facebook really. I went in biracial groups, in the mixed race groups, that I started dealing with it. That's when I dealt with different types. I dealt with the people that I call wannabes in those groups. I dealt with people that were what I call militants in those
Mm.
groups.
Have you
You know,
ever
some of them, right?
but like
Yeah.
in your real life experiences, right? So you said you had few, but what was your experiences with people like in real life? Like, was it like a short interaction? It wasn't really like too deep. Like,
Yeah, in my life, I didn't see one of the things I learned being in biracial groups was how other biracial people, like black, white biracials, but others, how they were treated where they grew up. That's what I learned. Because,
what did you like? Say that again. Hold on. What'd you say?
well, what I said was one of the things that I learned by going in biracial groups, not as much on YouTube when I was in mixed race spaces here, but in biracial groups on social media, what I learned was the different experiences of biracial and multiracial people.
No, I'm
That's
saying
what I
okay.
learned.
So, but I'm saying like in real life, when you talk to other like when you've met other people who are black, white, biracial, like you, like what was that like? Was it awkward? Was it like standoffish? Like was it like
I
what do you think?
rarely, and to be honest, very rare. I can't recall right off the bat meeting somebody. Actually, I use the term carbon based world to denote the real, some people call it real world. I call it carbon based world. I don't recall having too many. Yeah, I never really dealt with too many people who were black, white, biracial. It was like maybe Caucasian, Asian that I dealt with, or other
Okay.
types of people. That's who I dealt with. I didn't deal with that type of biracial person or mixed race person until I went on the internet, until I went on
Okay.
social media.
So here's
That
my
was when I
next
dealt
question
with.
for you guys. Okay, we all seen how these mixed spaces went. Like, everybody had different experiences, but we've seen, from your guys' experiences on like mixed race spaces. Do you think that turns off like mixed race people from getting together in like in real life? You know what I'm saying? So, what y'all think about that? Oh, hey y'all.
Hey, Radical Latino. Okay, how
Oh,
you doing, Radical?
Hey, Radical. He said, "I've been
Yeah,
around a
welcome
lot
to
of."
the live.
oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and answer that. It can depending on if you let it and how far. Again, like I was saying earlier, that you come online and you pretty much give a sort of this like description of yourself that people really don't know about versus real life. Um, you're going to have the human interaction that's practiced on a daily basis. It can be again, it can be taken that way, but I know that it's definitely big on the internet that people will come in and try to put a screeching halt to it. But in real life, it kind of has its effects, but at the same time, it doesn't.
Yeah, because look, like I'm cool with people. I'm like, oh, what's up? How you doing? But okay, this is the effect it had on me, like just being in these spaces and like wanting to interact with other mixed people, right? It's like I am kind of embarrassed to talk about that I had a YouTube page dedicated to mixed people. I'm kind of embarrassed about it. I don't want to talk about it because it's like I don't know why I'm embarrassed because I seen how things went. I was like, dang, things went really left in these spaces, and it's like I don't even want to talk about it. But you know what happened? My daughter found my YouTube page and she said she was watching it.
Right.
And I'm really happy about it. I'm like, okay, that's good. I wasn't on no BS, no bullshit. So I'm happy about what I put out there and things like that. Whoever finds it, I'm happy. But when I'm talking about like people in real life, like I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about it because I'm just like, I don't know how they. Because a lot of people have this idea. Oh, it's not that serious. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you have to? I don't know. I just feel like it's like brushed off, like our experience. You know how our
Um,
experience always getting brushed off by everybody. So it's like if we try to open up and
right.
connect based on both the fact that we're mixed, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's very touchy, I think, in a way, because you don't
I
know.
see.
Because most people, you don't know how somebody identifies. You don't know their experiences. You don't know if a lot of people are not proud to be. Oh, I'm mixed. A lot of people are not proud to be mixed. They're like, there's so many people in different mindsets about like what biracial or mixed, what is that to them. Some people don't like it. They
Right,
don't want to. Some people only
right.
want to identify with one
That's
side. It's so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you really got to take it slow with like you can't just be like, oh yeah, mixed or mixed. Hey, let's get together. Da, 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 da. We're best friends now. Like you can't like be that
that's
fat. You know what
what
I'm saying?
that's what I found when I first went into the mixed race groups on social media. That was 2010, like I said, a long time ago. But what I found was that biracial and multiracial people had different experiences. Some people had a lot of issues, and other people had maybe few. I was somebody um, who didn't come um, to the space with any issues I didn't have any personal issues in being biracial
Right.
in my in my my personal life and formation. But other people did. You know, they had a much harsher childhoods or just uncomfortable adolescences in that regard. So it varies for people. So when your point about people with different experiences and different points of view is something I certainly found when I was on groups. As for
Yeah,
YouTube,
you never know. It's not like we could 100% relate just because we're both mixed, right? Like,
right?
there's still
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
like a lot of things we can't relate on because it's like, oh well, you went through that, I
oh
went through
yeah.
this,
Well, see,
but I
that
still.
that's
Oh, sorry.
personal. But you're no, I wasn't trying to cut you off or anything. But what
No,
I'm
you
saying
good.
is, I think part of that is personal, right? You're trying to relate to a person as a person. You're not
Right.
simply trying to relate to them as a biracial or
But
multiracial.
the
That's what I
but the thing
see.
about
That's what I
me,
hear coming from you. Yeah.
but the thing about me, I still like really see myself in like other mixed. I don't know if mixed people do that. Like I could see myself in them. Like, oh wow, like you know what I'm saying? You know how you could see yourself in
Well,
people?
yeah,
It's
that's
like I could do
natural.
that. But I don't
That's
know if they're
natural.
doing the same thing back to me. Like I don't know if they feel like, oh, I could see myself in her just because she's mixed like me. But I don't know if
I
they
see.
think that, you know? Like I don't
Right.
know. They might just be like, oh, this is
Well,
just some chick. I don't know.
to address the second part with relating to YouTube, I was only in the mixed race space on YouTube maybe over a year. So I can only say personally, I can't speak for everyone else here, but personally, I had a fairly decent time in the mixed race spaces here. It
Oh
was
yeah,
all
that's
right.
good. But I'm saying let's keep the topic on real life, right? We're not talking about because we already talked about like our experiences with like mixed race spaces like online, right? I've already talked about that a bunch.
Mhm.
But I want to ask y'all, okay, I want to ask everybody this. I want to get everybody's input. So when y'all see like other mixed race people and stuff like that, do you guys see yourself in them? Like do you guys have that connection? And it's like do you guys see your like in real life, like online is like I'm talking about like in real life, like wherever you're at the grocery store or work or wherever, you know what I'm saying? Like do y'all see yourself in them like a little bit? Like what y'all think?
In a way,
I
yes, but
do.
at the same time, again, like it's like, again, like the majority of us here, we all have that, let's say, golden fair complected skin, right? Now on that,
Right.
but the thing about it is that like even when I come across, again, somebody who may resemble me or may not resemble me based off of differences, um, it's like I could, again, it's like, well, I could say, hey, oh, I have this experience with so and so. They may tell me, well, mine is different because you may have gotten your it's like when women go to hair salons, a woman can say, oh, well, I had a bad experience at this hair salon, but the other woman didn't, which is nobody's fault.
Right.
Which is nobody's fault. They
Right.
just have different
Right.
experiences, even when it comes
That's
to
precisely what YouTube mixed race spaces on YouTube were like for me. Like that's what I noticed. For some, they were rubbed the wrong way
Hold on,
and it was
let's
difficult.
keep
For
the
me, it
topic in
wasn't.
real life though. Like I want to talk about like our experiences in real life. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Like have you ever done that? Like
oh,
have you
real.
ever like in real life
Oh,
like those
seen
few
myself in real life?
yeah like when you see
No,
but
no.
you know what I'm asking like when you see like that rare occurrence that you see other like black white biracial like you do you
I
like
get what you're
you know what
saying.
I'm saying?
Right. I get.
You don't have that
Not really because I see it more from it. I see being mixed race because of the past decade or more. I see it now more of a, how do I put it? I see it more like even though it isn't, I see it more from a professional standpoint, even though it's not a
from like a
profession.
professional standpoint. I would like to elaborate on that a little bit. I want to know what you mean by that.
Well, what I mean
Yeah.
by that is I I have a different, I don't know why, but I don't view it purely from a kind of, how do I put it? Like a purely racial view, semi-ethnic. um, not, somewhat cultural, but more profession. The paradigm is profession, because I referred to biracial people as colleagues, right? Even
As
though
what?
I
Hold
don't
on.
work
As what?
as colleagues. That was my name.
Colleagues.
That's my name.
Oh.
So I have a different paradigm for viewing biracial and multiracial people. I
I see
view
what
it
you're
more
saying.
from a,
Like you
how do I
work with
put
these
it?
people, like coworkers.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
a
the weird
coworker.
part.
Like
I don't know
we just
why.
working the
I
same
don't.
job.
Yeah, we're not working. I
Yeah.
don't work with anyone. I was an independent contractor and self proprietor. I'm a writer, and so I was doing that all my life.
But you don't see them as like family. You more see them as like colleagues, like coworkers. I get what
Yes,
okay, that
that's the
makes sense.
difference.
I
That's
see
the
that.
difference.
Okay.
See, you hit it on the nerve. You hit it precisely on the nerve. I noticed with African Americans that there's this sister brother kind of thing,
That's like my kinfolk. That's like my folk. That's my
right?
fam. Yeah.
I don't ever. I always keep it. How do I put it? I don't do that with biracial people, and that's never really been the vibe with other biracial people, at least in general.
I
It's
think
never
that's how
been.
most that's probably how most they don't really view it. It's like, oh, that's my folk. But yeah, I'd like to hear future. What you think?
But
Do you like see yourself in other and then I want to elaborate on your point, Al, but I want to hear what future got to say about it too, real quick.
Yeah, I do. I actually do. I feel like when I see people who kind of like look similar or maybe are similar color, I guess I feel like they're part of the same group, you know? Um, like when you see people that kind of like look like you feel like they're part of the same group as you. So, I think I've been like that ever since I was little because I was around people and of course everybody was like a different complexion. Like it was just all kinds of different people. But like when somebody is like similar to you, you're like, oh, okay, that person must be like me. Now, some of these people are certainly not the same as me. Like I noticed a lot of people were from like other countries, or maybe they were like Latino, or they were from like Egypt. But um over time, or people from the Caribbean. But over time, as I got a little older, I started like, okay, well, I'm mixed. So I started to kind of like gravitate towards people who were like mixed black and white, because I felt like they would be like me. Um, but of course, nobody is like anybody. It doesn't have anything to do with
Right.
your race. But I do feel like I'm more like that um, than some people. Like some people, they probably don't bother to link up with people just based on the fact that they're biracial or mixed or Japanese or whatever. Like they may feel like they link up with people based on how they're dressed or how they act or where they work. Versus just okay, well this person's like the same ethnicity as me. But yeah, I did do that a lot when I was in like school, like elementary school, junior high school. But I guess over time I noticed like all my friends were like mixed or highly admixed, or they're from the Caribbean or they're Latino and or they're biracial. I don't have any NGM friends because I was one of the only people that's like that, where you have like multiple biracial people in your family. But yeah, I do have a lot of biracial friends, a lot of like Latino and Caribbean friends. And I guess to me, yeah, there was a feeling of similarity. And I noticed that even when I was little, like people that were black, like fully black and dark skinned, they kind of shunned me when I was little. So that may have something to do with it. I felt like, oh, that's not my group. Like they made me feel like that's not my group. And then as I got older, I was like, this is nonsense because I'm black too. But then it was like, oh, well, you're not really black, blah, blah, blah. So once that whole issue started, I just kind of like gravitated towards people that were similar to me in some way. Because I maybe didn't really want to have that discussion of whether or not I was black. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a thing. We don't some of us don't want to associate with each other. Like I remember I met a girl in college that she was an MGM. She was very fair skinned with like long, long, long curly hair, you know, hazel eyes. And I remember she kind of like didn't want to really hang out with me. Like she was friends with my other friend that was like a light skinned black woman, but she didn't really want to hang out with me like that. And I was like, she wants to be like the only, you know, MGM in the room, that kind of thing, you know. And
Yeah, I
at
noticed
the
that
time,
too. They want to be like the only like exotic, unique one right in the room, right? Because if there's more of us, that means you're not exotic no more. If you're
that
common,
might be it. They're
you're not
used to
exotic no
being
more. Yeah.
right. Right, because I was like, well, why didn't she like, you know, like I went to meet her one time because we used to live in the same neighborhood, and she was just kind of like, oh, you know, I'm busy or I have to go to, you know, my job or whatever. You know, she wasn't really interested in like chilling like that. But like when I was hanging out with her with my friend, it was I noticed that everybody there was black. You know, everybody there was black. So yeah, I think some people have a problem with associating with people like themselves because maybe they don't want to feel like they're linking up, you know, maybe they think it looks bad.
That's very interesting.
Mom,
That's,
I can't show it. I
hold
can't
on.
cut it anymore.
Okay, but I want to say this real quick. My daughter is just acting up. Hold on a second.
My iPad.
But don't y'all think that
It's a
that
little
does kind
ratchet
of like
screen. Hold
trigger?
on.
Okay.
What you saying?
I was saying that going elaborating on Future's point that she made just now about being the about if you come across different people who may be just as exotic,
As
not only
you, right?
yeah, you again, it's no longer, it's like you're in a way like being in competition, even though it's like you never, again, no one is not really acknowledging that it's not really a competition, but you want to just get somehow compete so you can pretty much get score all the brownie points and the validation points for being the only one, just like all of us can pretty much again can somewhat um come to the point where because again we live in a world now, and hell, even still back then and now, it's like you have a jar full of black and white jelly beans and you're the only golden one or the only you know different colored ones or mixture within those jelly beans. You're very easy to pick out.
Right, right. Yeah, you are. You're different than the people around you, and so you're used to being a different one. You know, it's true.
And so to have our, again, blackness being questioned simply because not only blackness being in question, but in the sense of this representation, which is why, you even have people, even not only just even on the internet, but even some in real life who may feel that, oh, they're being replaced. But then when you actually look at it, it's not necessarily really all that, cut and dry as it's
Right.
made out. No.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely, definitely.
Yo,
But do
you
you
guys are
think
bringing
that
up so many good topics. Oh, what'd you say, Future?
I was gonna say, do you think we judge each other too harshly? Like when we meet each other, like we're more judgmental of each
Yes,
other.
I think we're critical on ourselves, and then we're because you know how like a lot of us are like hyper aware because we feel like we have to like super try to fit in with everybody, and then we're like hyper critical of how this person is like representing me, or like how are they, you know what I'm saying, like a little bit. It's like, oh, how are you making me look, I guess, in a way, like I don't know.
Right, right. I definitely feel that way. Like I feel like when we meet each other, we're not necessarily like trusting of each other. I think that might have been too. I dare say that might have been an issue on YouTube because I know you're trying to keep it to in real life. But I think we might have an issue trusting each other. You know, like we question each other. We sort of judge each other from afar. I mean, maybe some people do it more than others, but I've noticed that it's like a recurring theme, at least in these spaces, on
So
YouTube specifically. Mhm.
so you would say that in meeting mixed race people that you've had just negative experiences, or have you had a variety of experiences? Has it been
I've
negative,
usually
positive,
had
right?
positive experiences personally. I mean, I've mostly had positive experiences, but I would just say
Okay, okay.
with that one woman that happened to be MGM, I thought it
Oh,
was
well,
interesting because
I think
she,
that explains it. Like when you said she wants to be the only one, that happens with people of other ethnicities and races. They're in
mhm.
some
They want to be the
mostly
token.
white.
It
Yeah,
was like
they
a
want to
token
be
biracial, right?
right, right. It's like that movie, not another teen movie, that parody.
I
Right.
love
You
that
know,
movie.
yeah. The actor comes in and he says, "No, I'm the black guy in this movie."
Yeah, that's a thing. I think
Yeah.
that Keenan and Kel, not Keenan and Kel. I'm not talking about Keenan and
No, there
Kel.
were two different actors.
No, I'm talking
I
about
can't remember the name.
Key and Peele. Key and Peele. They did a skit
Oki
about
and
that
Beale.
too on their
Yeah.
show. About like
Oh
the
yeah,
two black
you're
guys
probably
fighting to be
right.
like the only black guy in the group.
Right.
They did a skit about that too. So it's like I think
Yeah.
that
So
yeah.
I think that's a very real dynamic. I've never heard it applied as much to biracial people, but I can certainly understand it. It have I seen that in actual real life? I mean, life outside the internet? No. Um, it I haven't really had that kind of negative experience with mixed race people because I don't know why. I think because I'm not fixated on, and I haven't had to be fixated on being around certain types of people. It's been a
Right.
lot. Yeah. I just, for me, I've had other things to do.
But I'm saying
Um,
we don't like intentionally like seek out other mixed people. Oh, let me go find a
no,
mixed
I've
people.
never
I'm saying
done
like
that.
it happens or
Again,
no.
yeah,
Right.
the only time I actually became a part of it was online. Outside of the online, no, not really.
But
I don't have
I
an
think
issue with
that
meeting
yeah, I
anyone.
just stumbled
But
across these spaces. It wasn't like I was actively looking for it, but once I seen it, I was like, oh, I like this. I want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because it's like the
right.
thing that. But I want to address Mini Tree. She brought up a good question. Have y'all ever met other biracial people through your black communities or even your white? I feel like there's more in the white community for me than in the black community. I've met like one or two when I was living in Atlanta, and it was not that many. It's so segregated down there still, so it's like it's not too many. Mostly people stick to their own. Like white people, they got their own side of town. Black people got their own side of town. And everybody got their own like area and community. Versus up here in like the Pacific Northwest, I see a lot of interracial couples. A lot of interracial couples up here because it's mostly black. It's majority white, but
All
there's a lot
right,
of black
because
people moving up here, and then they get with white people out of proximity.
you're in
Yeah.
Washington State, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
because I live in Seattle.
Yeah.
I live
Are
in
you in
Seattle,
Seattle? Oh,
so
you live there, yeah. But I feel
I
like
lived there in the
I feel like I
'90s.
encounter them more in I don't know, I see more interracial couples in this white. It's more liberal out here too, I guess.
Well,
So
West
it's
Coast,
mhm.
West Coast.
Yeah, it's
South
more
is.
liberal. The
I
South is a
know
little
that
segregated still, so
right. You said you lived in Atlanta. Is that right?
yeah. But what I
Okay.
noticed, I met like one or two, like literally in like 10 years, like one or two other mixed people, and one of them I ended up marrying, having 3 kids with, right, and the other one she was crazy as hell. And we had this weird unspoken tension between us. I don't know why. It was weird. I don't know. It was just fucking weird. But
Well,
or maybe it
here's
was
what I
no,
think. You
but
mentioned that you had
actually
a
I meant more than
weird
that.
tension.
No, there was
Here's what.
other ones I had good experiences with too, that we were cool,
Right.
like we clicked. But some of
But what happens
it
is
was like both. It was good and bad. It was like I had
okay.
good experience and bad experiences with people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, what I hear about, because I know that somebody in the mixed race space here lived in Georgia, in one of the mixed race space on YouTube lived in Georgia. And the South has always been traditionally racist,
Oh yeah.
not just segregated, but
But most people
traditionally,
just kind of have they just kind of stick to their own people. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? So that's kind of how it
Well,
is.
that's
So,
one of the things that I stress about the South. I've never lived there. I visited because I had family there. But
mhm.
it's very, for me, my view of it is that the racism there is not necessarily personal. It could be, but it's not necessarily
That's all they
personal.
know.
It's
Like
just
that's just how they
tradition.
raised. They just,
Right.
they only know their own folk. They don't really kind of. It's just ignorance. Like they don't really know
It's
nothing about
segregated.
other folk. So
It's
it's a little
socially
different. But now
segregated.
we got the internet, so there's no excuse. Like you could learn about anything, anybody. It's not like you're in your own bubble and you don't have like
Well,
but the
yeah.
internet changed the game. But let me tell y'all. I want to tell y'all something real quick. So I think my most like disappointing experiences with like other mixed online, offline, is that just because somebody look like you, and you guys have like you relate on some certain things that other people like that you can't relate on other people. It's disappointing when you figure out they don't have like the same character as you or the same values. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's so disappointing to me. I'm just like, damn. I'm like if you feel like you can't really fuck with somebody, like you want to you want to have that group mindset, like, oh, this is my folk, this is my kin, but it's like, but you realize like you can't even your own like real blood family, like some of them you can't really fuck with because they don't got a good character or they don't got good values. So it's like, I don't know. We just want a sense of community so bad, but it's like you run across so many people that you can't really fuck with because they don't share the same character or the same values as you, and
Hmm.
it's like extra hurtful because it's like, damn, we barely have a community whatsoever. So when you run across all these people, time
All
after time
right.
after time after time, and it's like, damn, we really don't have the same values in common, don't same character, and it's like, I don't know. It's like you want to have that sense of community, but it's like so few of people that look like you feel like they have the same values or the same character as you. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, y'all? That's my
Yeah,
most
you're
like
disappointed. You're
disappointing experience
disappointed.
that I've
Yeah.
come across. So that's why I kind of, oh hey y'all, everybody's showing up strong in the chat. What's up, everybody? But it's like that's been my struggle. That's why I kind of stepped away from these
Right.
spaces because I was like, dang, I try to give everybody a chance. Everybody, like I don't know nobody. Like you just try to see people, and then once you see something that is like, oh, it's a red flag, or that's you see how people are. Once people show who they are, you believe it, right? So once
Well,
I see people for who they are, it's like, oh, okay, that's you. Okay, cool. Let me just go
this
leave
is
you
what
over
I
here because I
noticed.
can't fuck with that, and that's fine. That's cool. It's no beef. It's just you choose not to associate with some certain people because you just don't want to, and it's like that's fine. Some people don't choose not to associate with me, like that's cool. Do you over there, protect your peace, like that's cool. Do what you gotta do.
Well,
And
I did the same thing when I was in the space. I ended up not being around a couple of people who
yeah,
shall
and
remain
that's
nameless.
fine. It's like everybody think that, oh, if you choose not to associate with somebody, that means like y'all gotta have beef, but it's like it's not beef. It's just I see who you
Actually, that's
are.
the polite thing to
That's
do.
the polite thing to do rather than being
Right.
fake and being like, oh yeah, like, but you really don't
There
fuck
you
with them.
go.
Like you just don't fuck with them. Like it's okay. Like that's actually the mature thing to do in a situation, right? And it's like I've
Hmm.
had to do that so many times with so many mixed people in these spaces, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I only fuck with a couple people, and it's like that's sad because I feel like if we're gonna be building like, but you only really could actually truly vibe with like one or two people in the space, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's disappointing. That's sad. But there's a lot of people that I'm getting to know. That like there's so many people that I'm getting to know that I love so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's more. But just that was just my experience on YouTube. Like on TikTok, like I've
Right.
seen like Lil Brown, she's fucking dope as fuck. Justin, we are cool too. Like we you know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting there's so many other people out there that I like. But that was just my experience on YouTube, and but I'm trying to like just put myself out there more and just really like, I don't know, like I feel like me trying to, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, he said
Can
that he's
can do
disappointed
you
we don't have a
do
building
you
mentality because
do you mind if I
business
ask
is
you a
personal.
question?
Hold on,
Do you
let
mind
me
if I
just
ask you a
finish this real
question?
quick. Real quick.
Do you
Let me
mind?
just finish my little spiel.
Okay.
So business is personal, right? Like if you personally really don't fuck with somebody, it's hard to do business with them. It's hard to really work with them. It really is. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like some people are mature enough to put it to the side, but most people aren't. So it's like, I don't know, when it comes to like building these spaces and like trying to, but it's like, especially online, like I don't know. That's why I've been trying to focus on real life, but it's just I don't know. I've just been trying to build myself up first. Like you can't really build if you ain't got shit like for yourself first. So it's like it takes you like that's what I just promoted. I was like, everybody just build themselves up, do the best they can
Right.
in life, be as successful as they can in life, and then we could all bring something to the table. But just us sitting around talking on YouTube all the time, that ain't really gonna accomplish nothing, ain't gonna really amount to much, and we don't got no power, no money behind nothing. So it's like, that's been my main focus. But I just, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what I want to see in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, in real life, I would like to see, like, um just us having a different mentality towards each other. Like, hey, like, that's my folk, that's my folk. I like that. Like, oh, like, you, like, this person has your back, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, you in the workplace, or you to go, like, you could, that look, it's like, oh, this person got my back, like, they my folk. Like, I just wish we had more of that mentality a little bit. I think that would get us a little further versus like, oh, he was this motherfucker, he's the other. Like, feel like we got to compete with each other. Like, oh, I want to be the only, you know what I'm saying, only token biracial in this motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, this is just, but you can only lead by example. So that's it. Go ahead, Al.
Okay. Um, I had a question or two for you, and then maybe a comment to make or two. So the question that I had is, I gather you're not doing the biracial thing on YouTube. So what is your channel about now, if you don't mind my
Oh, me,
asking?
I'm still doing it. No, look, I stepped
Oh,
away
okay.
for a minute. You see, I got all my videos still up. Like, I'm not deleting shit. Like, I'm gonna keep everything up. And when I feel like I got something to talk about, I'm gonna pop up and talk about it. Because I feel like it's still like something that, it's like a long term thing. I'm not just gonna be like it's the long game, right? Where you got to figure out things like what's gonna, people come and go, ideas come and go, topics come and go. Like, there's a lot, but where I'm at right now, like I said, I started a new job. I'm trying to get my money right. Money is the root
Mhm.
of everything, right? Not just evil, it's the
Right.
root of
Yes, it
everything
is.
else.
So you have
So it's
other
like,
things outside of YouTube that you focused on. Am I right about
yeah,
that?
definitely. But it's like me, we had all these talks about, like, how are we going to become successful business owners? Like, how are we going to, like, that's what I want to see more of. Like, I'm supporting, like, this is
I
guy in my
see.
office. He makes a lot of money. Like, he's a mixed guy. Like, he been at the office for like 4 years. He got a little achievement. Like, he does really good. So I'm inspired by that. I see him doing good. That motivates me want to do good and building our money. And then maybe, like, my big goal, my big dream that I'd want to see before I die is building that little festival, or investing in that little remember, I think I talked about that a long time ago, the little festival of, like, oh, this is all biracial people, like a festival for us, so we could all get together and have fun and just be on good vibes and just, you know what I'm saying, everything that would be the dopest thing. Just like I posted that a long time ago, the little redhead festival or get together, or they have one for twins. Like, why can't we have one for us where we get together and just have fun and just listen to music and just vibe with each other and not be on no BS, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be like a dope experience for us. Like, that would be like, or like a, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would love that. Like, that would be like, but that take a lot of money. You can't just, that take a lot. Like, you need to have some money together, and I'm not here to make money on YouTube. Obviously, like, I'm not making no money on YouTube, so I gotta make money in real
Mhm.
life, and
Right.
that's what I've been chasing the bag and doing everything I can
Right.
to.
Right.
But
Well,
in our
that's
in
good, sir.
Oh, I want to shout out the mini trees too. I love you too, girl. She has a good TikTok. She talked about her experiences. She's in Hawaii too. She's dope as hell. You go magic.
Oh,
Keep
yeah.
talking
Well,
positivity. I know that's
that's
right.
that's one of the things that happened with me is I went back to TikTok after I shut this channel down. I stopped doing content here
Hmm.
because I opted to leave YouTube. I have an official YouTube channel, so I technically have a YouTube channel, but I use that for marketing and promotional reasons only for my writing work because I have a Substack,
Right.
and that's part
Right.
of what kept me busy is my Substack. In fact, I'm trying to promote an article on my that came out on my Substack. Now I did a
Got
show.
it.
I was on a podcast last week, so I'm hoping to finish that up. So,
So
uh,
I think that's good. Congratulations on that.
oh
The
well,
EMR,
I
the
mean,
EMR, did he drop? Oh, okay. But let me say this real quick too. I think that I got the answer I was looking for just now. So what I'm looking to do, I think the main thing we gotta focus on is changing our mentality about like ourselves and how we view like being biracial and other biracial people, because I think a lot of us view us as like this anomaly that just happened, and the like other biracial are just and other anomalies that are just like rare and far and few in between, and it's like kind of like we don't know what to do with each other. We're just kind of like just trying to navigate. Oh, good night. So it's like instead of looking at us as anomalies, like I really do want to view us as like, oh yeah, we're a family. Like we have our own family. Like we have to look before we can have a community. We got to look at each other as like you're one of us. Like you're my family. Like you're my, you know what I'm saying. But we don't. So just trying to change our mentality about things. I think that's the most important. We can't like if your mind ain't right, you can't build shit. Like you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna be able to build a relationship. If you, it's like trying to get a relationship with a crazy motherfucker. Like that shit ain't gonna work because their mind ain't right. Like you can't build a relationship with a crazy motherfucker. Okay, like you gotta get your mind right first, and that goes beyond mental health. Like mental health, that's a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't YouTube. Like you get a lot of good advice and everything, but you really need to like take your mental health seriously. That's a personal thing. That's a personal journey. That's gonna look different for everybody. But I'm talking about more as like mentality and mindset and how we view our perspective on things, you know. So I'm just talking a lot, but I had a lot to say, you know. So but yeah, guys. Anybody else? It's been an hour almost. It's been a really good live. But anybody got any like closing thoughts on like how we should move? You guys brought up such good things. Like I really want to talk about a lot of these topics again and really come at it from a different perspective, and you know. So what y'all got any last thoughts on this?
No, I don't. I think I've said everything.
It was really good. Thank you guys so much for coming up here. Amar, you got any last thoughts?
You know, hey, y'all can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't want to say be back.
Oh, we back. Is that what you say?
Well, I was trying.
Hold on, you cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Hey, let me hop back on again.
All right, you go ahead, Al. You got any like last final thoughts on this topic?
In terms of, because it's about relating to biracial and multiracial people. For me, I've always kept it simple. I deal with people that I can deal with, not so much in terms of personality, which is a given. You know, are these good people, or they're criminal types or sleazy, and I think, oh, that's easy. But in terms of their attitude toward being mixed race or biracial, so it's simple for me. It always has been. Like, if you want to be monoracial, what I call wannabes, okay, that's fine. I'm not going to deal with you. I wish you well. But I don't play the biracial police. I never did when I was in the spaces or anywhere else. It just, for me, it's been easy. I just deal with the people that correctly view themselves as mixed race and biracial and multiracial. And I talk to them and I deal with them. And it's been, at least online, it's been very simple. Outside of that, it hasn't been a problem because it's never been an issue. I just keep it simple that way. For some people, they don't like it. I don't know why. It's like it's like what you were saying before. Like if you tell someone, yeah, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to be around you. We're not going to be friends. If you just don't get along, or these people don't represent your interests, then there's no way you can be around them. And I keep it that simple. So it's never been an issue or problem for me. That's how I look at it. Now, how other people are going to approach it, I don't know.
How do you deal with like one-sided beef? That's a whole other topic. I ain't gonna talk about that. But okay, go ahead. Is that everything? Oh, bye guys. Good night. Amar, go ahead and get your final points out, and then I'm gonna end the live.
Okay, I'm not echoing, right?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Okay, good. What I wanted to say is that, what, regardless, on what we do, moving forward, we're still going to have challenges and obstacles and roadblocks,
Facts.
that we got to, jump over, that we're going to have to jump over, unfortunately. And for those, then I know that, we talked about things about what happened online as well as offline. You're going to come across people or come across uh, other things pertaining to what the common goal is. And they may not have your best interest or my best interest or vice versa. And like I saw a couple of comments early on where I mean, get as a group, yeah, it's got to start somewhere. But sometimes, yeah, even on the individual basis, our egos do tend to get the best of us.
Absolutely. That's a great
That's definitely for
topic.
that's definitely for the wrong reasons.
That's a really good topic. I think that's gonna be my next topic I talk about. Do we look out for each other's best interest? That's a good fucking topic. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much. Let's go to the
You
Discord
too.
and chat it up a little bit. We go back in the Discord and hang out. That shit fun. So
You
good
know
night,
what,
everybody.
Al?
Thank you.
Are you in my Discord, Al, or no?
I
I,
don't think so. I don't think so.
If you want
I
to join, you can. It's a small
I'll,
Discord.
I'll
It's safe.
you want me to put the Discord link in the chat?
Yeah, you can
No,
put the
that's all right.
Discord link.
I don't
Oh,
think
okay, okay.
No, I'm gonna
I'm
put
not
the
sure if I
Discord
have
link.
a
If anybody
Discord or
want to
something
join
like that.
Future's Discord, you're welcome
You know
to.
what it's for? Because it's for when we go live. Sometimes we go live from the Discord.
Oh, I
Um,
see. That's right. Yeah, yeah. But that's all right. No, that's okay.
yeah, okay. Because there's a like, yeah, I put all the people who go live private, and then there's a different section for everybody else. But all right, it was good to see everyone. Thank you for
All right.
coming.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
All right, I just
Night.
Right?
dropped the Discord link, and everybody want to join the Discord? Yeah, make a Discord. Low Breezy, I know you got a. I know you got a Discord. Join Future Discord. She's really cool and dope, amazing. And subscribe to Future. Shout out to Future. Shout out to AMR. Thank everybody in the chat for showing up. It's been a fun little pop. I got a good turnout for a little pop up, little random. So thank you guys so much. It's been real. Thanks for
Yeah, this
Oh,
showing
was a
love.
nice little pop
absolutely.
up. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Y'all have a good night. Bye.
Hmm.